In this video, we'll be configuring SecurePrint from the server side. For demonstration purposes, we'll be using the SecurePrint emulator instead of an actual vPad. But most of the configuration steps are similar to those you would apply to the vPad device itself. Before we start configuring SecurePrint, we'll quickly review the installation options required for SecurePrint. Then we'll install and enable the SecurePrint emulator. We'll then show you how to change vPad properties through the UniPrint management console, and how to set vPad properties globally for all vPad devices. We'll add or associate printers to a vPad and import a list of user IDs and their associated smart card IDs into SecurePrint. Let's begin by going to a Windows workstation. Just as a quick review, during the bridge installation we selected the UniPrint SecurePrint server option, and then during the print server installation we selected the Install SecurePrint Print Server Components option. If you didn't select these options during installation, you can always relaunch the installation wizard and modify your UniPrint installation to include these. The final SecurePrint component to install is the vPad, or in our case the SecurePrint emulator. We copy the UniPrint installation folder to our workstation desktop. The emulator does not need to run on a Windows 7 machine. Windows XP will suffice. Double-click the installation folder. To run the self-extracting file, double-click SecurePrintEmulator.exe. Ensure that when done unzipping open, SecurePrint.exe is selected, and then click Unzip. Click OK. The vPad will try to connect to the closest print server that has the SecurePrint print server components installed. Let's check the IP address of our print server. The IP address for the print server can be found in the UniPrint management console. Take note of it and then return to the workstation or vPad. You can have a vPad pointing to any UniPrint print server, but we want this particular vPad to be responsible for authenticating and releasing print jobs designated for printers on our test print server. To change the IP address, click Customize. To have the vPad try to automatically discover the print server, select Auto Discover. It's a good idea to also select Clear Existing Connection Information and Rediscover to clear the memory. But since we already know our test print server's IP address, click Connect to Server. And then change the last octet. Click within the IP address to bring up the keypad. Click to hide the keypad. And then click Apply. Click Yes to confirm changes to the connection settings. Now we need to enable this vPad on the SecurePrint server. Let's go to the bridge, which is where we installed the SecurePrint server. Under Properties and Settings, click SecurePrint. Right-click the disabled vPad, and then select Enable. Let's return to the vPad. The Search Name home screen is now displayed. Let's go back to the bridge to configure this vPad's properties. Click to select the vPad, and then click Properties. Enter a name for the vPad, and where it's located. Click the Settings tab. These are the settings you can change. One setting that will prevent users from playing with the vPad is hiding the Settings button. By hiding this button, users will not be tempted to play with the vPad and make changes to it. Set Show Settings on vPad devices to No. And then click OK. Let's go back to the vPad to check that the Settings button has been hidden. And it is hidden, out of sight, out of mind. Now let's assign or add printers to this vPad. Click to select the vPad, and then click Add Printers. Marketing has both a color and a black and white printer. Click to select HP Color LaserJet 5550. Since we want to prevent users from wasting valuable color ink and have them consciously print to the color printer, also select Forced Password. This forces users to assign a secure password to their color print jobs and make them enter that password at the vPad in order to release their print job. Press Ctrl and also click Lexmark T520. And then click OK. Let's deselect these printers. The golden key on the icons indicate that a password is required for each of these printers. We just have one VPad up and running, but in a typical environment, you would have many more VPads, and to go in and change the settings for each one could be quite onerous. So to change the default settings for all the VPads, click Default Settings. Let's require passwords for all printers on the VPad devices. From the Require VPad Password list, select Yes. We also want to force a password on all print jobs sent to the UniPrint VPQ printer. From the Require VPQ Password list, select Yes, and then click OK. Depending on your company's security policies, a password for authentication may not be enough, and an additional layer needs to be added. VPads can also be ordered with smart card readers that allows your company to keep its current smart card system. But adding all those users and their smart card IDs can be onerous. SecurePrint gives you two options. Users can register their smart cards at the VPad device itself. This is a one-time task, and once their smart card is registered, it is associated with their user ID and saved on the SecurePrint server. Or the administrator can import a list of user IDs and their smart card IDs to the SecurePrint server. To import a list of users, from the View list, select Users/Cards. All you need is a text file with a list of user and smart card IDs. I've already created a couple beforehand. Double-click SecurePrint users.txt to open this list. This list is comma delimited and contains the user ID, their smart card ID, and if you want, the domain name. But since this is a test environment and we only have one domain, we're going to omit the domain name. Let's close this and go back to the UniPrint Management Console. Click Import Users. Click Browse. Click to select SecurePrint users.txt, and then click Open. Click Next. Choose the delimiter used in the file, and then click Next. From the user domain list, select Constant, since all of our users are on the same domain. Enter the domain name. Now we have to tell SecurePrint which column contains the user IDs. From the user ID list, select A. From the card ID list, select B, and then click Next. Click Finish to import this list. If more employees are hired, you can import another list. Click Import Users. Click Browse. Click to select newhires.txt. Click Open. Click Next. This file is also comma delimited. Click Next. These also belong to one domain. From the user domain list, select Constant, and then enter the domain name. From the user ID list, select the column that contains the user IDs, which in our case is column A. From the card ID list, select B. Click Next. Click Finish. The new user IDs are simply appended to the list of users. Let's go back to the device list. From the View list, select Devices. Click to select the VPad. Click Properties. Click the Settings tab. To allow users to register their smart cards at the VPad device, ensure that Allow User Self-Registration is set to Yes. You can also allow smart card users to print all of their active print jobs with just a card swipe. To do this, set Print All Jobs on Card Swipe to Yes. From here you can also change other VPad settings, such as the interface language. These are all the languages that are currently supported. You can also change the type of homepage displayed. The default homepage is New Search, which prompts users to enter their user ID. But you can also display a simple list of recent users. The VPad remembers who has used it before. Click Cancel to exit Properties. And let's return to the VPad. Thank you for watching what is really part 1 of SecurePrint configuration. Join us for our next video on configuring the VPad from the VPad device itself, followed by releasing your print job through the VPad, which will be geared towards users. And the final UniPrint Infinity video will be on configuring archiving and statistics monitoring. If you're planning to deploy UniPrint Infinity in a server-client environment, then you might also want to check out our videos on installing and configuring UniPrint Client.